Hey everyone, welcome to this episode. For those that don't know me, my name is Matt Cotty, and I'm the founder of Restored Minds and the creator of the AAA Response. And on this episode, I want to talk about the idea of social media and anxiety, and just kind of, some thoughts on how we interact with social media, especially when we're working on our mental health and working on things like OCD and anxiety. So, for those of you that are looking for help with anxiety, by the way, we also have additional resources over for you at Restored Minds, and there's some links down in the notes below, for a free guide as well as some additional training and as well as our courses and programs. So please check those out if you are looking for help. Now, when it comes to social media and anxiety, one of the things that's important to understand is that there's definitely studies that suggest high correlation between, the more you use social media, there's higher levels of anxiety, depression, fear of missing out, sleep problems, all that stuff, associated with high levels of social media use. And this is not me talking bad about social media. I, pretty recently in my life kind of just got off social media altogether. I have a team that helps me put stuff on, the podcast and YouTube and stuff like this. But for when it comes to personally being on social media, like I don't have it on my phone, and it's not something that I engage in on a daily basis. So when it comes to, and the reason I did is because I just started noticing just the overall negativity that I was immersed in. People would send me videos, and it would just be like this, just terrible thing that you get exposed to without even, really wanting it, and so I started to, really ask myself just on like a personal level, like, is this healthy for me? And what I started to notice is the more and more I wanted to, like, the times I started using social media were just in downtimes, right? And so usually what happens is you get stressed, overwhelmed, and you hop on social media. And one of the things that does is that, like, again, when you start to feel overwhelmed, it's a distraction mechanism from your feelings, right? And so that's one of the reasons that I think social media, again, we should consider limiting it in our lives. And instead of distracting ourselves from feelings of frustration or anger or, sadness or whatever, and hopping on it to change the feeling, really learn to get in touch more and more with what we're feeling in our bodies and learn to release it and let go of it in healthy ways. And we talk a lot about that in the AAA response, because again, us being emotionally aware is very important, because that's going to really dictate a lot of the behaviors that we engage in. Secondly, I think one of the main problems with social media is that it puts us into a state of judgment. And the more we're in that on social media, the more we're judging, right? And because you can even think about it as you're going through social media, right? What do you instructed to do, to like or not like something, right? Which means you have to make a concrete judgment. Do I like this or not, right? And then if you like something, it's like, okay, yeah. And then when you get and then conversely, if you're posting on social media, right? When you get liked, you feel that, like, oh, hey, that feels good. Someone liked my stuff, right? And it makes you feel good, right? And that dopamine hit and all that. And this idea of judging, though, constantly is going to, then it's a behavior pattern that we're engaging in. So then we start judging, and the more we judge, the more we're going to judge, right? Because it's just a pattern that we get into. So then we start judging ourselves. And this is why people, the correlations between, mental health struggles and, the more time you spend on social media are pretty obvious, right? You're looking at all these things that people are doing, and usually people are putting out, just their best foot forward, or like they're showing you a great vacation, and you maybe aren't on vacation right now. So you start judging yourself, right, as not having that. And you start saying, well, I want this. And then not to mention the ads that you get exposed to on social media, where, they're just pumped ads that can target directly to you, with your age and your demographic, and then whatever's going on in your life, and they can just start advertising to you. And the whole idea of that is to say, hey, like, oh, don't you wish this was like, don't you wish you had a better body? Don't you wish, you were healthier? Don't you wish you were on, like, had more money, or whatever it is, right? And then you start, again, judging yourself for not having that. And that judgment, right? That judgment is really what I think the biggest con of being on social media for long periods of time is Now, if you're connecting with your friends and doing that, it's like, that's great. I'm not saying that like there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with social media, right? And so please don't hear that that's what I'm saying. It's the idea of the amount of time we're spending on it, and really being aware of when we go on it, right? And then so if we're going on it into a like a distress state, or we're down, or we're frustrated, and then we're going in and starting to judge, it's like that's most likely going to lead to even further feelings of like not feeling good about yourself, and so on and so forth. And that practice of judgment then gets turned into ourselves, and we start judging ourselves for we're not feeling the way we want to feel, or we're thoughts we're having in our mind, or and the more and more we judge, the more and more we try to control, which leads to behaviors that are ultimately destructive in our life. And that I think is the inherent con of being on social media for long periods of time. And one of the reasons why I've chosen to kind of just strike it from my life. It's like if I'm sitting here, and because I noticed myself, I was sitting on the couch and my daughter's playing on the floor, and with their toys, and I'm sitting here scrolling through Instagram or something like that. And it's like I kind of just stopped and looked, and I was like, what am I doing? It's like yeah, like I have this opportunity to be present with her or my wife, right? And if she's talking to me and I'm scrolling through something, I'm not being present, I'm not listening, right? It's taking me out of my life, and it's not real what I'm looking at. It's just these projections of what people want to show how they're living, and this and that. And a lot of it is usually stirring up negative feelings in myself, right? Feelings of lack, scarcity, or whatever it is. And when it comes to anxiety, I think one, we can use it as distraction. We don't want to do that. But also it's going to increase our judgment, in which we need to be very cognizant of, because if we're judging all the time, we're going to start judging our internal experiences, anxiety. We're going to start judging, and when you judge something is bad, you're going to try to change it. And so one of the things is, if you are wrestling with anxiety and you're judging it as bad, that's going to lead to you doing behaviors to try to control it, which is paradoxically going to keep the loop going. So the concept that you're always judging on social media, whether you're really even aware of it or not, but you're liking or not liking, right, is promoting judgment. And judgment is at the root a lot of our problems, because we're judging things as bad and trying to control and change. So those are just some ideas on why I've kind of gotten off social media altogether. I know we post these things on social media, but and I try to create positive content to go out, but it's something that I just want to be transparent about. I don't even post. I have someone who helps manage that and helps post it up, and again, from a personal level, I've really removed a lot of social media from my life, because again, I just want to practice being more present into my day-to-day life, and realizing that when I'm focused in my phone, I'm actually missing out on life, and because real life is what's happening out here, not what's happening on my phone. And the more and more we can be attuned with that and appreciate that and be mindful of that, the more we're going to enjoy that, and really be grateful for what we have, as opposed to judging our reality based on something that we're seeing on the screen and why they don't align. And that's what really creates a lot of conflict, I think, and which then leads to often destructive behaviors. So I just wanted to share that idea, when it comes to social media anxiety, just my own takes, and you're welcome to take them for however, a grain of salt, however you see them, doesn't matter, but just some food for thought from my perspective. So I hope that was helpful today. And with that said, I wish you guys a great week, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for watching that video. And so if you're struggling with OCD and anxiety, I just wanted to let you know that we have a free training for you over at Restored Minds, where you can start learning how to use our AAA response to really break out of that loop and ultimately take back control of your life. And all you need to do to access is just click the little link below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can register today. Thank you so much.